Hello and welcome to another video on presentation packs. Today I'm going to be going through folder number 5 and that runs from the 3rd of September 1985 to, what did I say, 10th of the 1st 1990. So yeah, not much to say at this point, is there? So let's just start getting through the folder and seeing what's in it. So folder number 5, 1985. So Back to the Future came out around about here, and then we've got a little index that I've done. Arthurian legend, so that's sort of King Arthur, Guinevere, Merlin, Lancelot, all that sort of thing. British films. Now here we go. Here's where stuff starts to get quite good, and stuff stops being, well, it doesn't stop doing it, but there's less and less of this sort of arty style stuff, and like more photography style stamps start appearing. So it's very easy to tell who everyone is. That of course there is Ted Heath in the middle. He was Prime Minister. No, it's not. So that's something for any foreigners watching. That's not Ted Heath. So yeah, much easier to tell who everyone is. Christmas pantomime. Everyone loves pantomime. There's genies and dames and all that sort of thing. Industry year. So a year of industry. Yep. Halley's Comet, which again is more that sort of arty style, but when something turns up every 100 years or so, you're not necessarily going to get a clear photograph of it, and comets generally don't hang around to have their photograph taken. It's much easier nowadays, but in the 80s maybe it was difficult, I don't know. The 60th birthday of Her Majesty the Queen, which when you start getting into your 60s, you don't really want people announcing how old you are. I mean, it's quite rude to tell everyone what age people are. But yeah, these are more sort of, these are stuck together sort of long stamps, and basically just depicting Her Majesty through the ages, I suppose, is what they're doing. Right, nature conservation, very important subject, which we don't do very well, unfortunately. Medieval life, some depictions there, and 1980s style sport font. You know, there's it's obviously based on people, but not really people that you'd recognise enough that they bother putting a face on them. Another royal wedding one here, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. That marriage lasted a long time. So what basically happened there is couple of years after, in fact, no, I'm not going to say that on what I was going to say. I'm not going to say on YouTube because I don't want to get sued. In fact, I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to say what I was about to say. So yeah, Royal Air Force, lots of people in dashing uniforms, saving us from the Battle of Britain. Christmas 1986, Christmassy stamps, flowers. See, I quite like the photography on these ones. That's quite good. I don't know what most of them are, though, to be fair. And more spaces where there should be probably definitives hanging about. Sir Isaac Newton, very important man, and these stamps illustrate his discoveries stroke theories. British architects in Europe, buildings. St John's Ambulance, much less important today than they were then, although still required for every single public event, football match, or whatever. Scottish heraldry, so that's a thing. Victorian Britain, yep. Studio pottery. See, some things you just wonder why they are I mean, obviously somebody's got an interest in pottery, but not me. Christmas 1987, it's magic. Literally, it's magic. Christmas 1987, not 1988. Christmas 1988 was definitely not magic, so don't think that for a second. But specifically, Christmas 1987. Oh, if you were there, it's magic. You know, you must remember Christmas 87 when it was magic. It definitely was. It says so. Okay, so no arguing. The Linnean... oh, excuse me. I can't even say that word. The Linnean Society. I suppose at some point, again, I should get these packs out and find out what the Linnean Society is, but I have no idea. The Welsh Bible, and then also the Welsh Bible, but in Welsh. So presumably they could have missed out that bit that says Welsh and just put the Bible but in Welsh. So that would have been more subversive. I don't think you need that bit there, because that bit's already in Welsh, so you don't need Welsh there as well. And also, the other thing that gets me with things like this is, were they trying to translate the Bible into Welsh to make it easier to understand? Because I don't think that's going to work. I think the idea of having a book that is that everyone can read it, that's the whole point of the King James Bible, was that people could read English. You know, that's why it exists. So, I mean, anyone who speaks Welsh can already speak English, because Welsh is, even in Wales, Welsh is a second language. It's not the first language. So, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like having a set of stamps on it. I just, you know, maybe I've just destroyed the whole point of owning that. And sport, again, so another sport issue, because we only had one of them in the last... Not only in the last folder, but in the previous folder. So, yeah, we need more sport stamps. Transport and communications. So, it tells you here what everything is. Look, that's a train, that's a boat, that's a tram, and that's a plane. So, yeah, transport and communications. Australian Bicentenary. Now, this is Australia being 200 years old. And, yeah, so that happened. The Armada. Presumably the Spanish one. And, you know, for all the crowing that English historians have done over the years about Queen Elizabeth I beating the Spanish Armada, well, actually it was the weather that did it. Sorry to spoil the story if you're watching any movies or TV shows based around it. Yeah, it was the weather. Sorry. Edward Lear, Verses for Children. So yeah, there's some... These stamps are actually pretty good, I must say. I do like them ones. I don't know why, because I'm not normally into this sort of drawn thing, but I do quite like them. Maybe it's the rhymes. Christmas 1988, compliments of the season. See, yeah, I told you, not magical. 88 was not magical. It was complimentary. So, does that mean it was nice to you, or does that mean it was free? I don't know. Christmas 1988, there we are. It's like a boring Christmas card that, you know, a relative that you never speak to might send. You know, doesn't even have a Santa Claus on it. No reindeer falling off the roof. So there we are. Birds. So, yep. Definitely birds. Food and farming. Now, this is one I am actually going to take this out because there is a thing in here that there's a thing that came with all of these, and it's in the back here. And this not having this in the back will actually devalue the pack, believe it or not. And it's a free invitation to a free VIP preview day at Asda. Now, not all of them will have Hyde Park London on them. That's just the one that I've got. There are different ones for different areas depending on where you bought the presentation pack. But this pack to collectors is not considered complete unless it has one of these in it. So I do have another one with a different branch of Asda, and it's a yellow card. So I don't know which one's better. I've kept the London one because I thought, well, Hyde Park. Even if you're not from London, you've heard of Hyde Park. Whereas the other one was a different Asda that I hadn't heard of where it is. So yeah, that's just a interesting thing about that. And that's about food and farming. From seed to supermarket. That's why there's probably an Asda promotion in there. A celebration of anniversaries. There. Games and toys. Now, again, I'm not an arty person, but I like the sort of pop art style of these stamps. I think they're brilliant. Now, that one and that one, I look at them straight away and go, oh yeah, that's toys. That one and that one. It does take, unless you knew that's what they were supposed to be. Well, there's a little boat and then a giant grinning robot. I don't know what was that. I don't know. But that's obviously games and toys. There's snakes and ladders and a little building blocks thing. I like the style of these. I actually do. I'm not going to be that cynical about these ones. So industrial archaeology, which is that. I guess that's digging bits up from old flour mills and things like that. I don't really know what that is. Microscopes. Revolutionised medicine and pretty much everything else. And there you are. There's stuff that's under a microscope. The Lord Mayor's Show. That's a set of stamps there. And some more Christmas stamps. And this is Ely Cathedral, which isn't far from me, actually. So I've actually been to Ely Cathedral, believe it or not. Oh yeah, and there's another space here, but this is the last one in this issue, and this is another one with. Oh, hang on, because this is really really fiddly. Is it? Oh, can't get this out. Yeah, so you've got the penny black stamp set here, and also another commemorative miniature sheet, which is from. I don't know where it was issued from. But this is basically the valid for postage stamp, and the whole rest of it. This isn't a real stamp. This is the whole miniature sheet. There's only actually one usable stamp on here, and these aren't particularly sought after or expensive, but they are reasonably difficult to find. And it took me a couple of weeks before I found one to put in with this set of stamps. But so there you go. Yeah, the anniversary of the penny black. So that brings us to 1990 and the end of folder 5. So yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed my cynical look at the at the stamps. But I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this cynically, because there's too many people being nice about stamps. So I'm going to do it in a sort of horrible way. Like, yeah, I'm gonna collect stamps, but I'm better than it. I'm better than collecting stamps, sort of way. Whether I believe that or not is largely irrelevant. I just think it adds something to the videos. But you can always write in the comments if you don't agree. Yeah, so that's folder number 5. So yeah, not much to say there. Again, same gaps as usual. It's the definitives that I'm missing the most of, because they tend to be reasonably expensive for what they actually are. But I will eventually get them, don't worry about that. It's just a question of A, tracking them down, and B, getting them for the price I want, which is usually far less than what they go for, if I can be bothered trying that hard. So yeah, that's it. Folder number 5, done and dusted, out of the way. The next video, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I reckon it's going to be folder number 6, so look forward to that. Nothing else to do now apart from to go to the end card. Now, as usual, the video you'll see up here is the latest one I've uploaded. Not this one, obviously. You know, you could be watching it in the future. Might be a new one. The one down here is going to be something that YouTube says you like, and the little button here is to subscribe to my channel. So I hope you do that, and that's it. End of video.